All right, Jordan, give me a beat that sounds like. You know?
I got it.
Yeah, good. Okay, now give me a little bit of like a.
Oh, yeah, you mean kind of like this?
Yeah, and then give me like a ting 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 ting.
Yeah, you got it.
Good. Yes. Now skip up. Skibbity-baloo bow. Woo. Woo. Woo.
Oh, yeah, I already have that one.
What do you already have me making those exact noises?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well, yeah, let's slam it together then, huh? Let's see where we're at. Skip up. Skibbity-baloo bow. Woo. Nice. Yeah. Graham, what do you think?
I liked it.
Cool. Yeah. Sounds good. All right, Jordan, ship it. All right.
Hey, everybody.
Hi there.
I'm
Ashkahn.
Graham. And we actually don't. That is actually shockingly close to how we make intros. Funny part. We do say ship it every time at the end, too. That was a little, you're in our world now.
Yep.
You can use that at home,
Sometimes
too.
lick it and stick it.
That's what's written on our checks. That is actually what's written on our checks, but that's not what we say at the end of episodes.
I made Jake put that as a little tagline on our checks.
Every step of the way, everyone was like, are you sure you really want that written on your checks?
Yes.
The banker, Jake.
Yes, lick it and stick it.
All right, so we don't have a question today. Instead, we have a really long statement that felt like an answer to a question we'd ask. So I figured we'd ask the question, and then we'd let the form submission answer it this time. So today's question from us after the fact is it okay to let someone float if they have tubes in their ears? And they want to float. Yeah.
What's the answer?
The answer is
I'm just going to sit down.
Story time. I went for my first float this past Saturday and I didn't think about the tube in my ear. Ooh, already off to a bad start. A few months ago, I lost all hearing in my right ear. After oral steroids didn't do anything, we moved on to steroid injections straight into my middle ear. After the improvement plateaued, the ENT decided to put a tube in my ear so I could continue with the steroids at home. He gave me an RX eye drop that had roughly the same solution as the steroid he was injecting. We never got the hearing back to enough to use a regular hearing aid, but we left the tube just because there was no reason to go in and get it. So, fast forward to float. I had been really looking forward to it. I practiced my meditation beforehand so I could get just right into it. When I first got in the tub, I was very tense, trying to keep afloat. Once I realized I could float with no work, I relaxed. I put my hands on my chest and crossed my feet at the ankles. I was just getting into it. My breathing was calm and I had the perfected position to open up my airway. Then I felt something in my ear. I reached up to feel my ear when I discovered that the earplug that they had provided had come out. I sat up and the pain hit me like a truck. My ear and the entire sinus cavity was flaring up with pain. It took almost 30 minutes for the pain to subside. The poor guy working nearly had a heart attack. He called a paramedic at my request, and by the time they got there, I was still in extreme pain, but I could tell it was going to go away. But it was going to take some time. The next day, I woke up sleeping on the ear in question and felt salt crystals had formed in my ear. Yeah, so, first of all, I don't know. I feel like they mistakenly sent this to us instead of an actual medical website or something. But that was just a straight question form submission that we got, and it did seem worth sharing.
Yeah, I mean, this, there are people out there that through whatever reason or another, like this person's talking about, end up with these tubes in their ear canals, and I really haven't heard of a good float story as a result of something. And then, honestly, something just like this has happened at our float center many years ago. Yep. Someone came in and they floated and the salt water got in there and the exact same thing. And then they even tried to put vinegar in there afterwards and that just stung even worse.
Oh,
and
God.
It's a huge mess. And I personally have never met an earplug that is flawless. You
Yeah.
know, like those foam earplugs.
At least
that
to
you
like
get.
the water side of things, you mean like actually being able to keep water out of your ears
Yeah.
for
Yeah. Like the foam ones, I don't think any float center personally should be using those foam earplugs. Those just fall out of people's ears so easily.
And they just let water in.
Yeah. So like if you're using those, definitely at least upgrade to something that's meant to be in a wet environment. But even those silicone ones, like the Max or those little Christmas tree shaped ones or those other ones, like
Or that third variety, all of them.
there's a little like ball type, but they work. You know, I float with earplugs in because for some reason it's just like
You're a freak, yeah.
I'm a freak, yeah. it's my little bit. It's my independent streak. You know, I gotta have my own. I gotta be a
Yeah,
rebel.
let it fly, man. You can fly that earplug.
And
flag.
I'm pretty good at putting the ones we have, the Max silicone ones, in. And I'm pretty good at molding them and getting them a nice seal on my ear, and really, like, you know, it does work most of the time. But even after years of this, I still every once in a while, like, I just don't quite get it, and it just like a little bit in one ear has a tiny gap, and that's enough for a little bit of water to get in. It's not like my whole ear is getting flooded, but sometimes it gets uncomfortable to the point that I just take it out, or once some water gets in there, it kind of breaks the seal enough to like pop the whole thing out after 5-10 minutes. You know, these things just aren't flawless. And when the consequences are something like this, like in this story that you hear, and when it's someone's first time and like they're just learning how to put earplug, you know, it took me a while to learn how to get these earplugs in so they would fit right and be good. Like, it's kind of risky. It's kind of risky to go in there with earplugs and think that, you know, it'll be fine when this could potentially happen.
And yeah, when the byproduct is like excruciating pain, it
Yeah.
just, especially then, it just sounds like a risk you don't
Yeah.
want to take, you know, and especially pain that doesn't go away immediately. Like, I mean, in our case, it was almost weirder because the person didn't even know they had ear tubes.
Yeah.
So like there is no scenario we could have put in place really to prevent that. You know, it's like even screening people ahead of time. You know, which we've kind of started to do as well. Like, it's one of those weird things where if you can put it in an email or something ahead of time as just a little footnote on contraindications of floating. Like, it's one of the few conditions where I'd recommend you not hop in a float tank, at least until you get the okay from your doctor, or flat out just have your ear tubes removed.
Yeah, and I mean, I could also see it being an actual like medical concern, or at the very least like a sanitation concern. You know, that's probably going to be a very vulnerable spot in terms of where the salt water is going to go to and how it's going to interact with your body to potentially give you like an ear infection or something like that.
Yeah, and I guess I have no idea if there's even different kinds of ear tubes or ones
Yeah,
that
I
like
don't
you
know
don't
much
have to worry
the
about.
specifics of them.
I do. I've heard horror stories from at least one other center besides this one and us too, of someone coming in with ear tubes and having exactly the same reaction.
Yep.
So at least every time I've heard it in conjunction with float tanks, this has been the story, and it's been awful for everyone involved.
Yeah.
So
don't be a noob, reject the tube, I think that's a saying you hear around a lot in the float industry. And it's justified.
Classic, yeah. All right. If you have your own statements you'd like to provide us to provide a question for, head on over to floatanksolutions.com/podcast,
and we'll answer them or read them.
Yeah, or
whatever.
just read them out loud. Yeah, whatever you want us to do. You know, we're here
we'll
for
do
you
it.
guys.
We're pretty much just sitting around waiting for
We're
you.
easy.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just be here till tomorrow. So talk to you guys then.
Write in soon.